All right, welcome to Buy or Buy. So today we're diving into a car that literally looked like it landed from the future. It promised to completely rewrite the rules for supercars, and then, well, it just kind of disappeared. This is the wild story of the BMW i8. It was a billion-dollar bet from BMW that's now turned into one of the most tempting and honestly one of the most terrifying used cars on the market. Okay, let's just get right to it. Here's the big question that gets everyone hooked. How on earth can a car that looks like a spaceship, a car that had a truly eye-watering price tag when it was new, now cost less than a brand new 3 Series? I mean, come on, that sounds way too good to be true, right? So let's look at the actual numbers. Back when this thing launched, this was the reality. 160 grand, that's what it costs for BMW's big technological flagship. It was priced right in that junior supercar territory, competing with Porsches and the Audi R8. And now, today, you can find these things running and driving for as low as $45,000. The depreciation has been just catastrophic. We're talking a 70% price drop. That screams supercar bargain, right? But does it really? And that, right there, is what we're here to figure out. We are going to break down every single system on this car to see if buying one makes you a genius or if you're just walking straight into a financial trap, a total money pit. So to really get why the i8 has so many problems, you first have to understand just how ambitious it was. See, back in the early 2010s, BMW poured billions into its new i sub-brand. You had the i3, that was the funky little electric city car, but the i8? Oh, the i8 was the halo car. This was supposed to be the future of performance. And for a minute there, it really seemed like it was working. The launch in 2014 got so much hype. By 2015, it was winning all these huge awards. But then just look at how fast the whole story fizzles out. They did a small update in 2018, and then by 2020, production just stopped. That's it. No successor, nothing. The big halo car was just quietly axed. So what the heck went wrong? To figure that out, we've got to look under the skin. The heart of the i8 is, believe it or not, the source of its biggest headaches. It's a pretty complex plug-in hybrid. You've got an electric motor up front and in the back, a 1.5-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. Yep, you heard me right, a 3-cylinder. And this is the first huge disconnect for anyone who owns one. You've got the looks of a Lamborghini, but the sound of a sport bike. See, that tiny engine is stressed to its absolute limit to pump out its share of the power, and that kind of stress, well, it creates some major problems. First up is a classic BMW issue, but it's just amplified like crazy here. That little B38 engine is working so incredibly hard all the time, which leads to crazy fast wear on critical parts like the timing chain tensioner. And if that thing lets go, your entire engine could be toast. And fixing it? Oh, it's not cheap. The engine is buried back there in the middle of the car, which means getting to it is a total nightmare for mechanics. You're looking at a bill of $2,000 to $4,000 for a part that really shouldn't fail this early. It is the exact same story with the turbocharger. I mean, it is constantly under massive boost to make up for the engine's tiny size. All that heat and pressure basically just cooks the turbo over time, and that leads to it failing way too early. And swapping that turbo out? That's another $1,500 to $2,500 job. So let's just do the math. We're already at a potential $6,000 repair bill, and we haven't even left the engine bay yet. And on top of that, because it's a modern direct injection engine, fuel never actually washes over the intake valves to clean them. That means nasty carbon deposits build up over time, and they literally choke the engine, killing its performance. The only way to fix it is this really labor-intensive cleaning service.
Yeah, that service is called walnut blasting. And it's not a one-time thing. It's a recurring maintenance job that'll cost you somewhere between $600 and $1,000 every 40,000 miles or so. So the main takeaway here is, the engine that sounds kind of lame comes with some seriously major supercar-level repair bills.
Okay, let's move from the engine to the i8's most famous feature, its body. The whole passenger cell is made from carbon fiber, just like a modern McLaren. This was absolutely revolutionary for a car at this price, but for a used car owner, it's a massive, massive liability. The part you really need to focus on here is that you cannot repair carbon fiber in the normal way. A little dent in a steel door might be a few $100 to fix. A crack in a carbon fiber panel? Oh, that's a completely different and way, way more expensive story. No, that is not a typo.
A little fender bender, one that just damages a single carbon fiber body panel, can cost you between $5,000 and $15,000 to fix. Why? Because the entire panel has to be replaced by a specially certified BMW shop. And you can bet your insurance company knows this, and your premiums will be insane because of it.
And what about those amazing butterfly doors? I mean, they look incredible, right? But they use these hydraulic struts to lift them up and hold them open. And over time, those struts get weak and they fail. And that leads to a door that either won't stay up, or even worse, one that comes crashing down on you. And this is just a perfect example of the i8's biggest problem. Its coolest features become its most expensive repair bills. Fixing that beautiful door mechanism can easily cost you another $2,000. The list of these unique, wallet-emptying failures just keeps on growing. All right, let's keep going and see how all this stuff piles up into the day-to-day reality of owning one of these. Because beyond the engine and the body, the crazy complex hybrid system has its own whole set of challenges, starting with the battery. So the i8's all-electric range was already tiny when it was brand new. We're talking just 15 miles on the early cars. But now, with age and the battery wearing out, that number can drop to as low as 5 miles. Even the upgraded battery in the later models is barely any better. The whole plug-in part of this hybrid is becoming pretty much useless. And here it is, the number that every single potential i8 owner dreads. If that big high-voltage battery pack fails after the warranty is up, the estimated replacement cost from BMW is a mind-blowing $15,000 to $25,000. That could be half the value of the entire car just for a new battery. But wait, the pain doesn't stop there. Those optional laser headlights, that's $3,000 to $5,000 to replace one. The seals on the butterfly doors wear out and start causing water leaks right into the cabin, and those tiny little rear seats, they're completely useless for anyone but a small child, which basically makes this a really impractical two-seater. But you know, maybe the biggest headache of all is this. The i8 is what we call an orphan car. It was a low-volume, super complex halo car that's been discontinued. That means a lot of BMW dealers just don't have the expertise to work on it, parts are getting harder and harder to find, and the community of owners who can help you out is tiny. You're pretty much on your own. So, after looking at the stressed-out engine, the super fragile body, and the absolute nightmare ownership costs, what's the final call? Is this the supercar bargain we should all be running out to buy?
See, the i8 isn't just one bad thing. It's a perfect storm. It combines all the most expensive problems from 4 different types of cars and rolls them into one beautiful but terrifying package. You get all the risk of a complex hybrid, all the repair bills of a carbon fiber supercar, all the underwhelming performance of a tiny engine, and all the service headaches of an orphan car.
And honestly, when you look at the alternatives, the case for the i8 just completely falls apart. For the same kind of money, you could get a used BMW M4 or even an M8 and have a truly incredible driving experience with a solid service network. And if you absolutely have to have a hybrid supercar, you're better off saving up for something like a McLaren or Tara, which actually delivers on the insane performance the i8 only ever hinted at. Look, the BMW i8 is a beautiful, ambitious, and genuinely fascinating piece of car history. But as something you might actually want to own, it's a trap. It looks like a bargain, but it is one of the single riskiest used car purchases you could possibly make. For us, this is a clear and resounding buy.